Good evening, race fans. Welcome into race 5 of 15. Already a third of the way through the season here for the Gateway 150 at the Worldwide Technology Raceway, otherwise known as Gateway. As always, here with my co-commentator, Art. How are we doing tonight?
I feel like saying here, is a little loose considering my internet is questionable right now, apparently.
You absolutely hate to see it. Glad it's not me for once, but race information is as follows. 2 laps of qualifying to set the field for the 150-lap main event. Stage break occurring at lap 40. 70% fuel capacity gives us a fuel run of 38 to 42 laps. 5 tire sets, 1 to start, 4 in the pits, 0 fast repairs, and 3 green-white checkers. If needed, they probably won't. Let's go ahead and get you into the on-track action as qualifying is underway. Currently on the top of the board, Casey Brunson, 33.96. Jared Lindsay in his season debut, 33.98 on his first lap. Mark Whitley, 34.06, was quickest in practice, so we'll see if he can get back up there during the race. At turn number 4, Randy Arms down the front stretch, currently P7. And on his second lap, he will stay. No, he'll go to 5th. Let's go on board here with Jonathan Shorts through 3 and 4 for his final timed lap. And you really just have to wait on the car, wait on it, and then you can finally point the wheel straight, powered up off of turn number 4. Hope you don't slam the outside wall. Currently 20th for the 58. He will end up P2. 0.02 of a second off a pole. A couple more laps are flying in. William K. Price. Personal best for him in the first sector. Not going to be good enough for pole, but it is an improvement. He'll go P8. Good lap from him. On board with Nathaniel Landwehr in the 66, 21st. After his first lap, he'll be looking for some big improvements. He was quick in the first sector. And on the second half of the lap, 22nd to 6th. As there's only Mike DeWalt left to set a timed lap in the 9 machine. Go through 3 and 4. Try and keep it as close to that red and white rumble strip. Power off turn number 4. Down the wide front stretch. And he will stay P20 in the 9 machine. Qualifying over with 24 drivers electing to set a time. Ben Thomas. Let's see here. Is it just updated? The 6 drivers that did not set a time. Zach Scare, Brandon French, Ben Thomas, Tyler French, Lucas Reed, Gary Smith, and Billy Davison. But it is Casey Brunson, the man on pole.
iRacing just not cooperating with me right now.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
I very much do.
Here is the official starting grid. It's 0.18 of a second from Casey Brunson back to Jonathan Shorts. The top 4 within half of a tenth. And then further on back through this 24-car grid back to Larry McDonald, 1.4 seconds. And then 25th to 31st, electing not to set a time. That is the qualifying results here this evening. As this, I believe, will have all 31 here. I think. Maybe 30. There's always the off chance someone doesn't take the grid. And as the rest of them slowly start to fill the grid, it is that time of the week. Waiting on, I think, just 3 drivers now, maybe 4. Art, who are we picking to win here tonight?
I'm picking the guy that is coming back this week. I'm picking Jared Lindsay.
Jared Lindsay missed the first 4 races. Was dominating last season. Was odds-on championship favorite before some internet connectivity issues knocked him out of the championship hunt. And he'll look to get this season started on a strong foot, starting from the 3rd position. Give me Jonathan Shorts. He was quick all in practice. Starting outside row number 1. And I think that 58 will get it done here this evening at Gateway Worldwide Technology Raceway, whatever you want to call it. Then some heavy hitters towards the front. Josh Thaxton, Mark Whitley, Landwehr, Ryan Tiller, Randy Arms. It's not going to be an easy race tonight.
I just noticed Mark Whitley qualified P5. I'm back in this session, hopefully for good.
There we go. But it is Casey Brunson with 3 top 10s in 4 races, looking for his first win of the season. Pace car is off. The bottom 3, Lucas Reed, Gary Smith, Billy Davison, have not yet gridded up or gone to their pit box, so it could be a 28-car field. We'll wait and see if they rejoin as Casey Brunson addresses the starter's stand. Waits till he gets to the end of the Geico restart zone, and we are green. Down into turn number 1 for the first time, side by side for the lead, but Brunson has the slight advantage. He should be able to power up. He's not going to get clear. Jonathan Short's big power move early around the outside of the 19, and he'll take the lead down the back straightaway. Be able to get that run off that second lane, and he is clear, looking to lead the first lap of the race. Brunson all over his back bumper, trying to force a mistake. Side by side for... that is the 5th position with Josh Thaxton and Nathaniel Landwehr.
I have to wonder if that new update, particularly going to introduce multi-groove racing here.
I've heard a lot of positive things from the community about the recent oval refresh, allowing different grooves to be tried. Gateway is going to be a tough one, I feel, to make it work on, though. You see every car kind of wrap in the bottom. And then in turn 1, you'll kind of see them enter on that second groove and kind of dime in the corner a little bit. It'll be a case of following the leader. You don't want to drive it in too deep. You'll wash up the racetrack. No grip. Really outside of that second groove. Don't tell that to Sam Demian, who's already up 4 positions, up to 18th in the 21 machine, looking for more. But it is 28 cars. Billy Davison, Lucas Reed, Gary Smith have not joined yet, so we'll see if they do show up at some point in time.
I believe Sam Demian was also one of the ones last week who started pretty far back early and, gained a bunch of spots.
And side by side in turn number 1, the 53 washes up just a little bit. That'll compromise his exit. The 21 will try and take advantage. He's got half a car length, but not able to get the move done just yet. We'll see how aggressive he is in turn number 3. 2 pretty respectful drivers here, giving each other plenty of room. 53 a little high. Gonna try and power up on the exit. It gets a little tight and has to yield for now. Just behind that battle, there is Mike DeWalt and Tony Scarbo. Side by side into turn number 1 for 19th. The 9 drives it in really deep on that top side. He'll hold position. But not a whole lot of changes inside the top 10. Schwartz and Brunson have switched. Mark Whitley and Landwehr have picked up 1 spot each at the expense of Josh Thaxton. Randy Arms and Ryan Tiller have stayed right where they are, and then Michael Davis and William K. Price have swapped positions, and that really is the top 10 as they run. So it is going to be hard to pass.
Yeah, outside of Sammy Demian and Tony Scarbo, there hasn't been a lot of change from starting position.
Yeah, Landon Quisenberry up 2 positions in the Kansas car. Kyle Ritchie up 2, Damien up 5. Like you mentioned, Scarbo down 6, so he's going to have to look to bounce back. Started 14th, now 20th. 7 laps in. Let's go on board with your race leader, Jonathan Schwartz, to see if fuel is a concern or if they're just going to naturally make it to the stage break at lap 40. No concerns at this juncture for the 58, not having to clutch. Looks like the natural fall off will allow them to make it again this week. But he really hasn't left Casey Brunson whatsoever. I mean, Brunson lost out on the initial restart, and he's been all over his back bumper for the following 7 laps. So we'll see if he can force a mistake or if he's just biding his time.
Jared Lindsay looking at the inside of Brunson.
Peek in the nose.
I think Brunson wanted to go high that time anyway.
They are now side by side for second. Here comes Jared Lindsay, but the 19 has that run off the high side through 4. Lindsay still keeping his nose in there. 19 a little high. And they will be side by side off turn number 2. Mark Whitley's got a front row seat. He's going to be pushing the 19 down the back straightaway. You don't see a whole lot of bump drafting at Gateway, but you saw it there. Mark Whitley bringing Nathaniel Landwehr, Josh Thaxton, and Randy Arms right into this party, and Lindsay does get the move done into P2. Landwehr taking a peek at Whitley. He's going to drive it up in deep. 66 almost contact. They're both sliding up the racetrack.
Really a little loose out of the corner there. He's going to have the run.
Good racing inside the top 5. Who is later on the brakes in 3. 66 drove it in real deep up over the rumble strips, not giving each other hardly any room. And still side by side for an entire lap.
They're still going at it. Side by side going into 1 and 2.
Not yielding an inch on the back straightaway. They still side by side.
I think Whitley had a little contact with the wall there.
77 doing a nice job of pinching the 66, not allowing him to get a run on corner exit. The 66 doing a nice job not over-driving the corner despite getting pinched and washing up into the 77.
There's a little contact.
Oh, and just as I say that, yep. It's your points leader, the 77.
I think Landwehr's going to concede and let him have the spot.
And behind that battle, Kyle Ritchie and Samuel Demien going at it. James Goodwin just ahead of this battle. So a couple of side-by-sides going on.
We're going to have another one, Whitley on the inside of Casey Brunson.
19 washes up just a little bit. 77 really good through the center of the corner. Jared Lindsay is slowly starting to close the gap. Last lap was a 10th quicker than Schwartz. And Whitley does get the move done for 3rd. The top 7 are separated by 1.2 seconds. And Tiller's not too far off, 2 seconds back, and then another half a second or so back to William K. Price. The top 10 separated by just 4 seconds. Looks like the 21 has dispatched the 76, and now he's off after the 11. Lap 15 of 150, not even halfway through Our one and only stage here tonight. 3 cars right here. 14th, 15th, 16th.
Ooh, Thaxton making moves on Casey Brunson now.
Yeah, you got to be patient to make these moves work. It's not going to be a bobble there from the 19. Randy Arms. I didn't think we'd see 3 wide, so he's going to push that 6 down the front stretch, and Thaxton will drive it in deep, slide right up in front of the 19. Brunson thinking about a crossover, not able to get there quite yet. Now Randy will look to take advantage. That is your pole sitter down to P6. He has not led a lap, lost the lead right on the initial start of the race. And Randy is looking racy right now. And Tiller's getting into this mix as well. It's a 4-car train at the front, and really Thaxton, I mean, they're all right there. It's a car length from 1st back to 4th, and then maybe 2 car lengths from 4th back to 5th, but they are right there. Here comes Mark Whitley. The 18 slides way up the racetrack. The 77 will get the move done. So here comes Mark Whitley to the front. Looking to make it 4 wins from 5. Downshift there into 3rd. He was in contention last week at Texas. Had another top 5 run going before a pit road speeding penalty took him out of contention. Here just about halfway through the stage, he's looking to make his move to the lead.
Talk about Ryan Tiller. He started P8, still sitting P8 within 2 seconds of the leader. Like the last driver between the first, group of cars. Then you got William K. Price, and then, just drops back further after that.
It's 2 seconds from 9th to 10th. As Randy's making a move on Casey Brunson now. I think that 19 machine, he'll be happy to see the caution come out here in 20 laps or so. Car's just not handling the way he wants it. Looks a little tight on the exit, not able to carry that momentum like the others have. Lindsay pulling down to the inside. Not sure if he's letting his teammate go. He is. Not sure what that was all about. That'll bring Thaxton into contention. Back straight away they go. Thaxton about half a car length ahead. 18 got a little tight. Almost contact on the exit, but he backs out of it. That's going to allow Randy to have a great run down to his inside. And they'll be side by side entering turn number 1. But we do now have a battle for the race lead. First one since the first lap. Here comes Mark Whitley down to the inside. Drives it in really deep. No contest from Jonathan Schwartz.
That was a big lunge from Whitley.
58 gives him a bump on the exit, but nothing really other he can do than that. To the lead, Mark Whitley.
Schwartz now has to contend with Landwehr peeking to his inside.
Yeah, like you said, that was a huge send from the 77. No contact was made. I don't think the 58 saw it coming. The 66 now with a nice slide up in front of Schwartz, who a lap ago was running first. Now back to 3rd and under pressure from Thaxton. So Mark Whitley, what can he do now that he's got the clean air? That's something that you really don't want to give him. Because once he's been in the front, he's been known to just kind of run away from everybody else. We'll see what his next lap will be in clean air. Downshifts to 3rd, waits on the car to settle and rotate. Nice exit. A late apex. Nice Diamond on the entry. Lets the car rotate. Back on the throttle. All while being pursued by Nathaniel Landwehr. With his first lap in clean air, 35.76 for Landwehr, a 35.80. It's no coincidence the top 6 are the only 6 that their last lap was in the 35s. How about Demien, up 9 into 13th? So he's probably upset with himself that he couldn't qualify any better because he's showing some decent speed here in the opening stage. There goes Casey Brown just ahead of him on Michael Davis. And they're thinking maybe some stage points, maybe just one. There's the 10. The 10th place car of Jonathan Mazzella, second and a half up the road with 15 laps to go on the stage. And Demien is just rolling the corner exit so much better. There's one. Going to give a bump draft to his teammate Casey Brown. And then he'll try and pass him for himself on the outside. This 21 is moving through the field. Also, can we talk about what a beautiful paint scheme Casey Brown is running? Gorgeous. Another pack of cards here. Mike DeWalt, 17th. Back to Cade Ferguson in 22nd. All going at it here. Kevin Boley way up the racetrack. The battles all over the place. Even Joseph McGill, Ben Thomas, and Zach Scare keeping each other honest. But Mark Whitley got out in front, and he has not pulled away from Nathaniel Landwehr. It's only a 10th of a second. So battle.
Now he's going to have traffic in front of him.
Yeah, that is, I believe, Tyler French going a lap down in 27th. He is. It's at Larry McDonald coming down to pit road. He's got some heavy right front damage on the 80 machine. As the top 2 have begun to pull away, they have a second over third. And these guys are both pushing. Looks a little loose on the exit. For both of them, they were up on the wheel. One trying to attack, one trying to defend. And they are right in each other's tire tracks. Short still holding on to third from Thaxton, then Jared Lindsay and Randy Arms, the top 6. Oh, and around goes Kevin Boley off the bumper of Cade Ferguson. Yellow is out. Saw they were pretty close on the racetrack, and that was a little too close for comfort, I imagine. Let's take a look at what happened here. Heavy damage to pretty much all aspects of that 99 machine. Let's take a look at what happened. There's James Goodwin and Cade Ferguson. And does he just come up and get himself hooked down the back straightaway?
I mean, it's a little bit of net code. Cade Ferguson is a little further off the wall than he really needs to be, but they don't actually touch.
Yeah, the net code is definitely what sends him around, or what starts to. With the 11 just a couple inches higher, 28 a couple inches lower, the 99 drifts up a tiny bit, the net code starts to send him around. James Goodwin has no idea how close he was to getting left hooked there. And then into the wall goes the 99. Parts falling off. He's stuck way up against the fence.
This is going to be... Ooh. I thought we were going to have Landwehr coming down for a pit, but we're going to have Schwartz coming in and change things up. We got 10 laps to the stage. Like, this could change everything.
Schwartz is good for the stage win here. He's going to put on a set of tires. You got 4 in the pits. So he's going for the stage win here. We heard him say last week he likes to do stuff a little bit differently. Some alternative strategies, and he will be by far the quickest car on the racetrack. He will have to pass pretty much everybody, though. Curious to see if he could do it. Tony Scarborough also on pit road. Larry McDonald still on pit road. That'll benefit Tyler French, who will get the lucky dog. He had just gone 1 lap down. And the 30 machine back on the lead lap just like that. Schwartz will come out 25th. 24th. I think Ben Thomas dropped due to upload packet loss, I believe. Oh, no. Is he here?
I believe he's here. He hasn't dropped yet.
It's saying he's here, then he's not here, so I'm not sure what's going on.
Zach Scare saying he's blinking pretty bad.
Yeah, so we'll see. But 24th, 25th for Schwartz. So you look at the guys ahead of him. There's Brandon French, Kevin Boley with big damage. Surprised he didn't pit. But you think Schwartz, he's naturally quicker than a couple of these guys back here. But then once you get pretty much inside the top 15, that's where you're hoping the tire advantage kind of takes over. Because these guys are pretty racy and pretty consistent inside the top 15. And you hope that the tire advantage will carry you to a stage win. Because it was a 15-second stop, 4 tires. Full of Sunoco Racing fuel for the 58. And Kevin Boley does come in, so he'll be 24th. He's going to have to get around 23 cars in, I believe, 6 laps. So it's going to be asking a lot.
If he can stick it up on the high side, like, there's a shot.
He's going to have to absolutely go full-out qualifying speed for the next couple of laps. There's Ben Thomas, just a couple cars up the road. He is blinking a little bit, so we'll see if he's asked to drop to the rear. It could be one free spot for Schwartz, and Tyler French got the lucky dog, and he is back out on his way. Kevin Boley trying to get as much damage as he can fixed. He's going to have to beat the pace car out if he wants to stay on the lead lap. And it looks like he'll do so. One to go this time. It'll be, 6 laps.
Mark Whitley discussing with the admins when he's allowed to, make his jump. So I think he's kind of telegraphing it. He wants to go early and secure himself that lead.
You don't want to be stuck side by side with anybody on the outside like we saw with Brunson. Want to be clear down into turn number 1, take the preferred line, and apex the corner properly. You can see that's probably a practice start right there the 77 was doing. So he is fired up, ready to go for the restart, lap 34. We'll watch the restart, then we'll head back to Schwartz in 24th. He is starting on the outside, so he could force the issue pretty easily in turn number 1. He's going to have to. He gave up 3rd to do it. So 2nd or 1st is really, that's all he can improve on. So 2nd, you get 1 extra point, but he's obviously going for the stage win and a playoff point. Pace car makes that incredibly hard left-hand turn down the access road. Mark Whitley enters the Geico restart zone. We'll see when he jumps. And there he goes. And it was a great jump. He's clear. Let's go watch Schwartz.
I think he wants to be in that 3rd lane.
Already 3 wide. Forcing the issue. You can imagine the guys on old tires might just give it to him. Already up to 20th. He's going to get bottled up, though.
He almost drives through air shields.
Up to 19th. Joseph McGill next up. Watch how deep he drives this in. I mean, it's just doing entirely different things than everybody else. No contest with the 69. Up to 18th. Almost completely has to jam on the brakes there to not drive through William Bowman, so picks up 4 spots in 1 lap. Let's just go on board with him, watch him through this chaos. And just look at the run. That 11 has some right side damage. Up to 16th, and now here's where things are going to get interesting. They're side by side ahead of them. Which lane do you pick? Want to get the run off the high side if you can, but there's cars all over the place. Going to take it 3 wide. Top of 3. Here comes Jonathan Schwartz. Around everybody up to 13th. Does he have enough time? He'll get back into the points, but will he get up to 3rd? That's the big question. No contest there for the 57, up to 12th. Almost into the wall on the exit of 2.
There, drivers.
Oh, DeWalt. Still 3 wide. Michael Davis, the meat and the sandwich, drives it in really deep to 75 up the hill. Schwartz around Demien, 11th. Kevin to 4 laps to go. He's going to probably make a dive here on the 41. Yes, he is.
Puts him back in points.
He's 3 seconds away from the lead. 2 in 1 corner. Casey Brown. He said, probably sorry for the squeeze, but I'm on a different strategy. I got to go. Up to 9th. 2.9 seconds off the leaders. The 34 is going to slide up out of his way. Picks up another spot. There's 8th. Ryan Tiller, he's going to be right in front of him. We'll see a big send down into turn number 1. 3 laps to go.
He's only half a second faster than the leaders.
2.5 back. To get back to 3rd, it's only 1.2 seconds. To get to 2nd and improve would be 1.9 seconds. He's going to have to make up a lot of ground with 2 laps to go. He's going to fly around the outside of Casey Brunson, get up to 6th here. I don't think he'll get to the top 2, honestly. He's 2 seconds back and about 5 to 6 tenths quicker, so he will fall a little bit short. He's going to try and sail around the outside. He'll get into the top 5. He'll get 3rd back. He'll get his 3rd spot back, I think. But he will not get to those top 2, I don't think. It's going to require some pretty big sends. He's going to get stuck behind Thaxton. He'll kind of force his nose in there, say, hey, I gots to go. And he'll get Jared Lindsay here on the last lap, lap 40. Lindsay way up the racetrack. He's 7 tenths of a second behind Landwehr, heading into turn number 3, but it's not going to be good enough, so he did all that to finish right where he pitted from. It was a heck of an effort, though. And it's just those opening couple of laps getting hung up by all that traffic. Wait for them to throw the caution. Mark Whitley wins the stage over Landwehr and Schwartz. And then back to Casey Brown. Caution is out.
Now what is a Schwartz? Now what does Schwartz do?
I feel
He's
like
gotta sit with this, right?
I feel like you have 3 sets left with 110 laps to go. I feel like you're kind of obligated to take another one here, then you kind of divide it up in half the rest of the way. Because LSRL, you can't bank on another caution. So I think you just kind of bite the bullet here and get back on sequence with everybody else, because you don't want to be the only one off sequence. So it looks like Tyler French left after getting the lucky dog, and Larry McDonald still on pit road. So there will be no lucky dog. Kevin Bull is going to take this opportunity to fix some more damage, I would imagine. Yeah, Schwartz was going for it. Obviously the quickest car on the racetrack. Just needed an extra lap or a couple cars to not be in front of him. He was hoping some more people would probably pit with him and not have to pass the entire field. Let's see Schwartz. Yeah, he's going to come back in. While we reset the running order, we'll be right back. We'll get in a couple quick words from the incredible sponsors from the LSRL Xfinity Series. So how about that for the race off pit road? Schwartz picks up 1. And Nathaniel Landwehr picks up 1. So Whitley goes from 1st to 3rd. Just like that. So racing even under yellow on and off pit road.
I mean, this could be big. Schwartz, we saw him take the lead from the outside on the original start. Landwehr moving with Whitley up through the field. You know, the first 4 spots, I should say, on that long run there. See if Landwehr can now, like, hook onto the lead and keep it.
21 Machine Demien, your biggest mover. He's up 12. He has cracked the top 10. Kyle Ritchie up 5. Ben Thomas up 5. Michael Davis spent a lot of time on pit road. He's coming back in, so he's down in 25th. So we get the 1 to go here. Restart coming on lap 46. And if you're at Landwehr, you saw what Whitley did in that last restart. You kind of want to copy that, get a good jump, get out in front early, and not have to worry about anyone being on your door heading down into turn number 1. 26 cars on track and on the lead lap. And then Larry McDonald just kind of hanging out on pit road. I think his night is done, but I haven't started packing up just quite yet.
100 laps to go.
Coming up on it. What kind of jump does this 66 get as he leads for the first time this evening? Pace car is off.
I was going to say the front 3, but Landwehr, Schwartz, and Lindsay are all in a voice together, so they should be able to, you know, time it.
And they did. Look at that. Excellent work from the MoFlo Racing guys. They control the top 3. Let's crank it up as we get underway here, lap 46. A lot of single file since that restart, especially at the front. Quickest lap of the race so far, Mark Whitley, 34.02, but back and forth after some excellent teamwork from the MoFlo Racing guys on our previous restart. We'll have to get around 3 really hard drivers to pass. Kevin Boley had an incident and towed to pit road. He just loops it. Big damage. Toes. Obviously, car not handling it as well as he would have wanted with that initial contact. And that'll probably be his evening done. In the 99 is the 77 now, putting Jared Lindsay under some pressure.
Lindsay with a big lunge in a 1 and 2 to try and get away from him.
There's Eric Shields on William Bowman. Bowman slides up. 27 will take the position. Not quite. 53 got a great run on the second half of the corner. He's fighting back.
Demian on that restart has moved up 2 spots, up from 10th to 8th.
So he is up 14 positions, and he at the tail end of this kind of 8-car train in the lead pack. Another 7/10 back to Ryan Tiller. But it is Landwehr kind of checking out. He's got 7.5 on his teammate. That's as big as we've seen all night. Let's see if he burned his stuff up a little too early, or if he'll fall back, or what's kind of the game plan here. Is Whitley still putting that 18 under a lot of pressure? Almost into the back of that 18. Good battle here. Still with Shields and William Bowman. But that 53 just using that second lane, getting a great run down the back straightaway. And he'll hold on to that 18th position. A little further back, Ben Thomas putting Joseph McGill under a lot of pressure. And Michael Davis trying to climb his way back up after being stuck on pit road under our most recent yellow. Kyle Ritchie under pressure from Mike DeWalt. It takes a long time to set up these passes. You just kind of got to be there, show the nose, and then hopefully they slide up the racetrack or they miss a braking point. But it takes a lot of time and patience, and it's a testament to the racecraft these drivers are showing to set up these moves. Inside of 100 to go. And we really have not had a dominant car kind of appear. Casey Brunson was on pole. Jonathan Shorts led for a bit. Mark Whitley was at the front. And now it's Landwehr's turn to lead, and he's actually looking the best out of anybody so far. 1.2 seconds.
We've got our dominant car now.
We'll see if he can hold on to it, or if the guys behind him start closing back in on him, because he is running about a 1/10.5 quicker than everybody else, so he's pushing a little bit. Maybe he knows just how hard it is to pass here. He's like, well, you can catch me, but you're not going to be able to pass me. So we'll see how that shakes out, as really it's second back to 5th, separated by 7/10 of a second. And stop me if you've heard this one before. Eric Shields to the inside of William Bowman in turn number 1. And William Bowman uses that second groove and great run down the back straightaway. That'll actually put him under pressure. Cade Ferguson not going to take the move. He's going to bump draft the 27. 27 leading the 28. Seems fitting. The 2 leading the 3 also seems fitting. Ben Thomas and Brandon French going at it. Zach Scare. Last of the lead lap cars. And it is 1.6 second out in front. Nathaniel Landwehr got the clean air, and he said, all right, I'll see everybody else later.
See y'all in victory lane.
That's what he's hoping.
Especially when 2 and 3 are his teammates.
Might be able to control the race here a little bit. 2 pit stops to be made. 40-ish laps on fuel. We started with over 100 to go, so quick math says they'll need 2 more stops. When do they elect to do it? Well, Lindsay slides way up the hill. Mark Whitley says, thank you very much. I'll stick my nose in there. Put you under a little bit of pressure on the exit of turn number 4. Side by side down the front stretch. Whitley will back out of it. Scarborough's got a little bit of damage to the back of his machine as William Bowman tries to get around. Not sure if that was caused by these 2.
Yeah, that thing is dented in.
Got a great shot to the left side of that. My goodness. And then here comes... Oh, Eric Shields was thinking about it. He'll brake early into the corner, though. See the hands on the wheel there. Nice and steady. is Mark Whitley. Jared Lindsay a little defensive into turn number 3. Just moved down half a car length down the back straightaway, saying not the time or place to pass.
I think, is there a little contact there?
A little bump on the exit there. Whitley says, I'm a little bit quicker, so let's get moving. Nathaniel Landwehr's running away with his race. That's probably what he's thinking in his mind. That 18 doing a nice job. Oh my goodness, that's close. Great camera work there. TrackCams22.com providing the angles. If you're Mark Whitley or Randy Arms, you're like, why are we letting Lambert get so far ahead? We're going to sit here and battle amongst ourselves. We come down, make a pit stop, and we're still nowhere close to him. Moflo Racing 1 through 3 right now. There's the view back from Schwartz. He slides up the racetrack. Lindsay to his inside.
I don't usually accuse teams of, making, like, why can't I think of it? Like not rules, team orders, right?
Oh,
this
another
is like a
shot.
Master class in wall trip racing.
They're just holding everybody else up. Landwehr's just going on and doing his own thing, and they're hoping for no more cautions. They'll get Landwehr into victory lane. They're running 2/10 slower than their teammate right now.
Schwartz can't even say that it's dirty air. Like,
He's got the clean air.
Yeah.
But they're doing a nice job. Lindsay especially. We'll go back to that one camera angle we had. Yeah, I mean, he's just backing up the center of the corner. Whitley's not able to get around him. It's the middle of the corner. He can't change direction. He's already committed to his line. He's doing a nice job holding off. There is Casey Brown to the inside. We're on board right now with Landon Quisenberry as they head down the front stretch. 75 washes up the hill a little bit. But he'll get the run off turn 2 anyways.
Max, how do you feel about YJ Media being called pretty swag?
Hey, we're bringing it back. Just like that, though, Jared Lindsay loses 3rd to Mark Whitley, and Randy Arms says, all right, it's my turn. Let's take a look at how he finally got the move done. He had a great exit of turn 2, was side by side going into 3, and that was the difference maker. Now, when he used him up, he said, all right, you're gone. He said, I was quicker than you. I'm being held up. It's time to go. And Randy got around him just in the same breath. Let's take a look at it. Down into turn number 1, the 8 on the 18. Intense racing between fierce rivals. A lot of mutual respect between both of them. He'll slide up and get the move done. Oh, there's a crash. Kyle Ritchie. Landon Quisenberry, 2nd caution of the night. Down into turn number 1. Oh, and he just gets on that right rear. Oh, big damage there for the 75 and the 76. A rare mistake from the 76. Does that 75 come up a little bit, though? He goes into the corner ahead. Here comes the 76. He's got a great run. 75, he starts sliding up the hill, and the 76 is already there. And then you're on that right rear quarter panel, mid-corner. You're not going to be able to change directions or get off of them. Right hooked into the wall. Front clip gone for the 76. And everybody's in. Who's going to win the race off pit road this time? Because that is a blown motor for the 75, actually. So his night is done. Kevin Boley's still on pit road. Landwehr came in as the leader.
He'll be coming out as the leader.
Great work.
Ooh,
Whitley gets second, I think. Yeah, he's going to make it known that he's second. That's big for him. So let's take a look. I don't think I saw any smoke from Quisenberry initially. Oh, I guess it was there. Take one more look at it. Didn't see it. It was there the whole time, I guess. Yeah, blown motor. Was able to drive it back around, but he'll probably end up 25th. Maybe if Kevin Boley wants to come back out, 26th. So we'll see. But not the finish that he had the speed to show for it. We'll get the one to go next time by. We'll see if anyone wants to double pit here. They should be able to make it on one more stop now. Pit right around... Well... Let's see. Let's do the mental math. They restart on lap 69. It's 81. So yeah, they should be able to make it on one more stop. It will be close if there's a green-white checkered or overtime, but they should be all good to make it. We'll actually restart on lap 70, so 80 to go. Yeah, we'll split it right in half. You can hear they're saving under the yellow here anyways.
I feel like I'd risk it for another caution. I'm just running hard as possible. But I'm also not good at saving fuel as a driver.
You're not good at saving tires either.
We're not talking about that right now. I didn't say anything about saving tires.
Well, I'm trying to think. Do you even have that second... Do you have the clutch assigned, second clutch button, where you can coast, shut the car off?
No.
Well, there you go.
I don't save fuel. I don't save tires. I drive it till the wheels fall off, brother.
You drive really hard for 5 laps and be like, hey, I'm quicker than everybody, and then, oh, wait a minute, here they come.
Yeah, that's how I kept up with the Coke Series driver for 5 laps. And then he drove away, and I finished like 7th.
There you go. How about Demien? He's in 6th. Up. It'll be 16 positions. I'm curious if Landwehr will drive away from Mark Whitley here, but however, the 66 and 58 should be working together here on this restart. We'll see if Whitley can hold his own here. It'll be difficult, but he's got a lot of talent, so we'll see. Pace car is off. Nathaniel Landwehr enters the Geico restart zone, and there he goes. Oh, 77 didn't go at all. And again,
all 3 cars on the inside went.
It's just so hard to know when those 3 are going to get going, and he finds himself in the exact same situation. Got a shot from the 21 for his troubles.
Well, Lindsay was loose through 1 and 2, so he's aggressive on it.
Let's see here if they think kind of all bets are off, or they're going to kind of enact the same strategy, 3 cars under a blanket. That could have got sketchy. Well done for the 77 to hang on to it. He got a shot in the rear. I believe that was Casey Brunson, actually, that gave him a nice little shot. Demien was 6th, not 4th. But he could have...
Oklo boys going at
He easily could have been turned in front of the field there had he not been able to hang on to it. He was a little sideways, and like you said, there's the battle for second. Not sure if Lindsay is going to be running a full-time schedule from here on out. I just know that he posted a message he was done with school finally, so we're not sure how that looks, but if he wants any shot at playoffs, he's pretty much going to have to win, and win often, after missing the first 4 races. But no team orders here. They're not rolling over for him. It's hard to win only had 2 different winners in 5 races. Perrin Huggins not here tonight. Last week's winner at Texas. And then Mark Whitley's won the other 3. We'll see if he puts the bumper back to Lindsay like he did a couple times on that last run. It was nothing malicious though. Little couple bumps. Just say, hey, I'm here. I think I'm a little faster. I'm rotating the center of the corner a little bit better. Just letting you know I'm here. Casey Brunson got a tiny piece of the wall there. Let's go back to Jared Lindsay here. This is quickly becoming one of my favorite angles. You see the 77 just starts to roll that center of the corner a microsecond earlier. Whatever small unit of time you like. Josh Thaxton is going to have a recovery drive. He was on pit road for a minute under our most recent yellow. Don't know why, though. Didn't see him with any damage, noticeable damage anyways, so he's going to have to fight back. Same thing with Michael Davis. He was down under our first caution on pit road, so both these guys are going to try and climb up through the field. How about Mike DeWalt? Looking for his 3rd top 10 of the season. He's up 10 spots. He's doing a nice job. Landwehr and Clean Air run a 34.07. Mark Whitley in traffic run a 34.07. So if I'm the MoFlo top 3, you definitely don't want Mark Whitley to get out in Clean Air, that's for sure. Because he was quick in that first run when he had the Clean Air. As we have hit halfway in the Gateway 150. Whitley trying a couple different approaches to try and get around this 18.
I was going to say, I'm surprised Whitley wasn't doing this sooner to get around. He saw this on that last restart, these 3 just working together. Well, 2, Shorts and Lindsay just staking right in front of him.
Yeah, he really backed up the entry of the corner to focus on corner exit, get the momentum down the back straightaway, and it at least gets him even going into turn number 1, where he can kind of wash up and say, hey, I'm already here. Oh, loose underneath. What a move if it sticks. Oh, my goodness. He was wrecking and made the pass anyways. Oh, and Jared Lindsay's going to give him the bumper. Not happy with the aggressive send, but he gets... Holy cow. Let's take another look at this.
I'm pretty sure post-race interviews just got a lot more exciting.
Heading down the back straightaway. Drives it in super deep. And that gets them side by side. Heading into turn number 1. And that's what I was saying right before this. If you can just get even with him, you have a good chance to kind of make a big move. And he makes a big move, almost loses it, a little bit of contact. Lindsay has to back out of it. And then we'll just stay right with it. Whitley has the momentum on the outside. Comes down to block. Jared Lindsay says, I don't think so. Mark Whitley going to be running for his life. There's a car ahead of him. He's on the same team that Jared Lindsay is on.
Almost contact in the background between Casey Brunson and Randy Arms. Randy
One's
with a
going
big send
for
in
it.
the corner.
The Gateway definitely has those short track tendencies. You enter the corners at 170, but it does have that short track feel. Landwehr starting to open up that gap again. 1.1 seconds, but here comes Mark Whitley to the back of Jonathan Schwartz. How does he set this pass up? I wonder what the communication is between Schwartz and Lindsay. Just hold him up, let me get back to him. I can only imagine. So you got to feel like Mark Whitley wants this move done as soon as possible. if it is possible. It's a lot of work to make a move done on the inside when you're getting pinched. Looking further back, Mike DeWalt from Jonathan Mazzella and Josh Thaxton, 3 cars under a blanket right there. Tony Scarbo being chased by Brandon French. A couple of good battles. A lot of 2-car groups chasing after each other. Yeah, so Whitley's trying that alternate line, kind of backing up his entry to get a good run down the back straightaway. Nothing doing yet. 1.9 seconds off your race leader. Lindsay driving it in deep, just saying, hey, remember me? And he is in a MoFlo Racing sandwich right now. Lindsay's got to be careful, though. You don't want to go down in there and chip him because that's your teammate right ahead of him. So they got to do this carefully.
You don't want to collect all 3 of you.
His best bet, if he's that upset, if he wants to get him back, just get to his inside and just wash him right up the corner and hope that he doesn't get back to you, because if there's another incident here, I could see this turning ugly pretty quick. But nothing for now. Whitley taking a peek to the inside. Jared Lindsay going to get to his outside.
He's not giving him any room.
It's going to take a big send. Schwartz into the wall. Tight on the exit. Oh, and Lindsay is trying everything he can to help his teammate, but he's got to keep it under control. The damage doesn't really seem to be hurting Schwartz whatsoever. He's holding it strong on the outside, and Whitley will have to yield, not quite. He's going to have a big send here, going to slide up the racetrack. Schwartz going to go right around the outside. That's got to be frustrating. If you're Mark Whitley, you felt like you almost had the move done, and now Jared Lindsay's right on your back bumper again. And that's bringing Casey Brunson, Randy Arms, and Samuel Demian right into the mix. As Whitley desperate to find a way through.
Oh, Schwartz parking it on corner exit, though. I have that feeling, the post-race talk with Schwartz, with Whitley is going to be something special.
I mean, because you're running out of time. If you come out, you know, we're 15 laps away from pit stops, roughly. If you come out on the last set of pit stops, you're 3 seconds behind. You're going to have to push, push, push. You're going to run out of time. You're going to burn your stuff up, and it won't really matter. So Whitley's got to find a way around soon. And if it continues, you might think he just puts the bumper to him and just kind of runs away and say, I'll take second and I'll deal with the consequences later.
I mean, he's already seen they're willing to do it to him. Lindsay gave it to him pretty rough.
But now they got a whole group of cars around him. It's not just these 3, it's 6 now. So any shenanigans will probably end disastrously as Brunson.
Ooh, Casey, yeah, into the wall.
And he's still carrying some decent speed. Randy can have to work for this pass.
I say, we talked about my racing style, all gas, no brakes, no saving anything. Sam Demian's been on that strategy, and look where it's got him.
He's up 15 positions. He wants some more. He wants that top 5. He's right there with it. All that battling, though, between Randy and Brunson kind of brings it back to a 3-car group. This Landwehr is just gone. Running 2/10 quicker than these group of 3 right here. There's Jared Lindsay all over the back bumper to 77. Yeah, Whitley, even if he gets a good run down the back straightaway off turn 2, it's like, oh, I'm going to pull the inside and I'm going to try and pass on the inside. It's like, well, you've tried that 3 different times. And that momentum of that second groove, it's so hard to pass. So you're like, what the heck do I do? And now he's burning his stuff up and Jared Lindsay's trying to get back by you. It's like you've tried almost everything. Except outright wrecking the guy ahead of you. Like he gets another good run here, like trying to get to the outside, maybe late move, trying to catch 58 off guard. And again, it's just not going to work unless he boots him out of the way. The 58 has a mistake. It's going to have to just take a big old sand dirt track style slide job up in front of him. And there, he's trying, he's a little loose. Still loose. Shorts is loose. That's the mistake that he might need, though. This is as close as he's been into turn 3. He has it's a statistical tie. Lindsay, again, very aggressive behind that 77. This is his best chance. If he can just be a little bit ahead going into the corner, I think he'll get the move done, but Even's not going to cut it. He's got to be just a little bit ahead to slide up in front of that 58. And they are just losing time. Hand over fist to Nathaniel Landwehr.
I think Whitley will just have to, like, move.
Like, really, I mean, you are losing time. So it's like, well, what do you do? So he's a little bit ahead. He is just slowly gaining time. Slowly, and he's finally got the move done.
Oh, he wiggles.
And he loses it. He was a car length ahead and underpowered, lost it all.
He hit the curbing, and it just wiggled the car.
And now Randy Arms in this mix. He's like, you guys have been battling, killing your stuff. Let me through.
Lindsay not letting him through easy, though. Not letting him through at all.
Again, even. And there's a big send. You got to imagine he's going to park it right in front of that 58. That's exactly what he does. He finally gets the move done. And he is 5 seconds behind. I don't think he's got anything left tire-wise. I mean, you saw how hard he had to work for that. Slides way up the hill. He's just trying to get away now. It's all right, you passed him, but don't let him right back into it. Well done. I mean, that's well done, though, to finally get them. He did not move him. I'll give him, like, he did not boot that 58 out of the way. Randy might not be so kind to Jared Lindsay. He might get ready to boot him.
Yeah, they've raced together long enough. That's probably a little more acceptable. Whitley trying to be nice. I think his first season here. Still doesn't want to make enemies, you know, MoFlo or that team speed zone overall. I mean, you annoy the MoFlo guys and you have like 8 other drivers mad at you.
Whitley is starting to pull away from Schwartz, at least.
He's running the same lap times as Landwehr, actually.
Yeah, it's maintained at 5 seconds, so it's kind of like whatever. Now Lindsay on Schwartz. We'll see. Randy in the mix. Demien in the mix. He got around Brunson. Oh, cars in the wall. I think that was both Schwartz and Randy. There goes Lindsay through. Oh, big damage to the back of that 18. Maybe it was... Let's back it up and take another look here.
Oh, Randy Arms in the outside wall.
How did that... So that was Schwartz getting tight. And Randy there as well, but how does that destroy the back bumper of the 18?
What? Hold up.
Oh, right. What in the world's going on here?
What's the caution?
Oh, that
Randy
hit.
Arms? Oh!
Yeah, Randy back down to 9th. There's a lot to unpack here, and that is worst case scenario. So hang on, we'll just play this through. Out of turn number 4. Schwartz and Randy into the wall. We got 2x2 here. Lindsay with a big send washes up the racetrack. The 58 clips his bumper. 3 wide on the exit. Oh! And Randy loops it around. And that brought out the iRacing caution. That was not. Yeah. He gets clipped. As Lindsay's trying to come back down. Randy's trying to exit the corner. Decent save, not a whole lot of damage, and now it's a whole new ball game. And they are not going to have enough fuel to make it. Mark Whitley says, hey, remember me? I'm back, but big problem. He'll be stuck with the MoFlo guys again on the restart. Landwehr should win the race off pit road. He does. Whitley's second. And then here comes Schwartz. I mean, he's going to be right back in the same position. He's got to get a good restart and at least settle into 3rd. Don't want to go back to 4th again. You don't have time to. You're going to have to... I mean, he's going for wins at this point. That's really, I mean, he is going to have a great season. He's a championship contender, championship favorite maybe. And see, at the risk of getting a penalty, maybe try and jump the start. Who knows?
I wish we had access to tire data because I want to know if it would have been potentially worth risking it going for 2 to try and get out of ahead of Landwehr.
Yeah.
Just take those right sides. I mean, you'll have to stop again, and you potentially have another set. I think they do, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have to stop again for fuel unless you're big saving.
No, I meant having another set of tires.
Oh. So they had.
I think.
Yeah, they had 4 in the pits. They took 1 at.
1 at the stage.
So let's do Schwartz first. He took 1 at 25, 1 at the stage, 1 there. So he's got 1 left. Everybody else has 2. They took 1 at the stage. And 1 right there.
2 cautions, though. Wouldn't they have had 3? I think they've used up 3 tires.
No, because nobody...
One left.
Nobody... No, because then Schwartz would have nothing left.
Because didn't they did it at the stage, and then didn't they do it again at, like, lap 60 caution?
I'm trying to remember the cautions we had. Let's take a look. Because we had the Kevin Boley caution. We had the Randy Arms, and what was the one that we're missing? Yellow. Let's go back to the lap 60. Oh, is that the case? Hang on. Let's.
I think they have 1 set of tires left.
So then Schwartz would have nothing left. Is that?
Yes, that is the case.
Oh, that was the Kyle Ritchie and Quisenberry one. Yep. And they all came down there, didn't they?
So I would have risked it. I would have taken the right size and then taken 4 on the next one.
We have 1 left. Thank you. So Schwartz should have nothing left then. So that takes him.
He came down again, by the way.
Interesting. Again, he could have chosen to not take tires here. He could still have 1 left if he didn't take 1 there.
I think he's double pitting.
So he's gonna try and make it on fuel. He's just gonna say, hey, to heck with it. That's gonna be asking a lot. The big question is, did Schwartz take tires on this one, or is he out? That's what I want to know.
Tires.
So then he is out.
He would be out now.
Yes.
Everyone else has 1 set after this.
All right. So if there's another caution, like 20, 30 laps, Schwartz is sunk.
Pretty much.
But he is on the same tires as everybody else right now. And he's hoping it just goes green to the end. Big damage to Jared Lindsay. We're going to be in for a treat on this restart here as we've finally figured out what we're doing. Landwehr and Lindsay going to be working together. Whitley trying to hang on if possible. A halfway decent start there. He should, at worst case scenario, fall back to third, but he absolutely cannot lose this position to Lindsay. He's going to slide away up the racetrack. Lindsay going to try and get the slide job done. What a move from Jared Lindsay. If it sticks, it doesn't. He saved it, though, and he might be out for some revenge.
I mean, he is loose as a heck in 3 and 4, trying to get back to the bumper of the 77.
He's got that left rear damage. Let's quickly take a look at it. He knew he had to clear it. He was trying to play the team game, and he was loose, and I don't think Whitley did anything wrong there. We go back to it. Lindsay trying to get there. And he is loose. Whitley almost in the wall. That's going to put him under pressure from Thaxton, who's back in the mix. Little bobble there from Lindsay. Whitley's trying to get away. But Landwehr, he's already out to 8/10 of a second lead there. So, I mean, he had a great restart and to get up to speed lap. Exactly what he needed to do. Quickest lap of the race by anybody is Nathaniel Landwehr, 33.59. Got an 8/10 of a second lead. So we can kind of take a breath now. Let's go on board. Schwartz, I imagine, is going to try and save fuel. Yep, there it is. So that's his strategy. What's the strategy of your race leaders? Let's go on here as we're heading into turn number 1. And not saving any fuel at the moment. Not there, not there, not there. I don't see hardly anybody else on 2,000 RPMs entering these corners except for Jonathan Schwartz. I think Ryan Tiller might be doing it. He double pitted. Let's take a look. He likes a good strategy every once in a while. No. Michael Davis, no. Oh, and Mike DeWalt's doing it too. So look, watch this space from DeWalt and Schwartz. Casey Brown might be doing it too. We're going to check all our double pitters here. And Casey Brown's on the same strategy. And then Brandon French. Yes, he is on the same strategy as well. So we got a whole lot going on.
I wonder if Mark Willie's saved, because he's 2/10 off of Lindsay's lap time.
33.9. Let's go on board. No, no saving. I think Landwehr's just that quick today. And nevertheless, we have an interesting situation. I think we can get 42, 43 naturally, and then you got to somehow save out 5 laps. It's just, you're asking a lot. Especially if you're short, you're 12 seconds back. I mean, you can't. You have to stay within that pit stop range if these guys come down just for a splash and go. If you drop off by a whole lap almost, you're not even going to get it back. So we will. So this is going to be fascinating to see the end of this thing. Inside of 50 to go. Or I'm curious if what we've seen a couple of times in cases like this, where guys will pit in about 5 or so laps and take a set of tires. That way they have the fresh tires and the fuel to make it to the end. Where guys like Schwartz, they just have to go slow the whole time and they pass them anyways. We've seen that a couple of times. So I'll be very curious to see how this plays out. 24 cars on the racetrack, all on the lead lap. And Landon Quisenberry still on pit road with that blown motor from the lap 66 caution. So it is going to get very interesting the rest of the way.
Landwehr really out to a second lead.
I mean, he is just bossing it right now.
Willie has clean air. Like, there's no one slowing him down. Landwehr's just naturally that fast. Can't wait for the Moflo guys coming back. Yeah, no, we weren't holding up Whitley, we're going. It's just
We're just that
away.
quick, yeah. And honestly, that's kind of the case right now. I mean, his last lap, it was him and Jared Lindsay, the only two drivers in the 33 threes. So. Well, I'm saying my pick to win, he's going to try and get it done in a stunning fuel strategy call. He tried to make the alternate call in stage 1 to get the win. Came up just short. We'll see if he can get this one right.
I mean, just now click that we both picked MoFlo, guys. And potentially the wrong one.
We had a 66% chance of getting it right. And Nathaniel Langworth says, all right, I see the disrespect.
I'd say 50-50. Mazzella's P6. He's a MoFlo driver.
I completely forgot he was on their team. I'm so sorry. There's so many speed zones, and they're all associated, so.
I mean, I didn't know that off the top of my head. I looked in the Discord and saw the invoice in there. All right,
Fair
I
enough.
cheated.
Fair enough. But you almost wonder if Landwehr could start saving fuel with the gap he's got and try and make it.
I mean, he's gone, what, 10 laps that it's been? Like, full throttle?
So yeah, I don't think he could unless he really backed it off. So let's see. Let's compare lap times. His last lap 34.70. Shorts' lap 35.2. So he's really saving. Eric Shields here. Let's go on board. Looks like he's saving. Looks like he's. Yeah, I mean, I think he's just really late on the throttle. So I think he's saving in a different manner. So we'll see. We will see. Coming up on 35 to go. Shorts is still aggressively saving. He's 17 seconds back. You lose about 30 seconds, 30-odd seconds or so on a splash and go, so he would be the net leader at 17 seconds back if everyone in front of him came down to pit. Whitley has kind of stabilized into second. Jared Lindsay under some pressure from Thaxton, and Thaxton really good. Casey Brunson kind of all on his own. And then kind of a four-car grouping here. William Bowman has had a really strong second half of this race. He's looking for his first top 10 of the season. Randy Arm's going to take that from him for the moment. And Thaxton is doing exactly what I thought. He's going to come in now, take the 4 tires, fill it up, and he's going to go full-out qualifying to the end of this race. So that kind of puts guys like Shorts in a bind because he's not coming down again to pit. And he's going to have to worry about those fresh tires for Thaxton. Shorts wants everyone to not pit with like 5 laps to go. He wants them to do a splashing. He doesn't want them to pit now, get the fresh tires, and then come charging at him. Because they would catch him in 30-something laps. 15-second stop for the 6 crew. He's back out. He is 23 seconds behind Shorts. 42 seconds behind your race leader, and that race is on. No one else has responded, so we'll see. You got Thaxton on the early pit stop. You got Shorts on saving fuel, and then everybody else remains to be seen what their strategy call is. As these top 3 class of the field so far, another 2 seconds back to Brunson. Joseph McGill has had a really strong second half of this race, as has Ben Thomas. James Goodwin, they've all moved up. Ben Thomas is actually your biggest mover, up 15 into 12th. And then Short saving fuel, Ryan Tiller, Casey Brown. So they're kind of down on where they were running. All that being said, I have no idea how this race is going to end up and who's going to be where. It's great.
To be fair, on some of these, that was also with the double pitting and now trying to save, so.
Right. 119 laps in, we have no clue who's going to end up on top. Best battle right now is this 4-car battle. I guess 5. Randy's now shown up on the scene. Let's go on board with Mr. Oh, and Randy's coming into pit. Tricky pit road entrance here with the access road. Don't want to clip the grass, but you want to get as much as you can. And don't want to speed. A lot of that access road isn't counted in official pit lane time. So you can get as much as you possibly can. You could very easily gain a couple of seconds on that access road if you nail it absolutely right. For instance, Thaxton was a 45.48. We'll see what Randy's is in here in just a second as we approach 30 to go.
Thaxton just got around Lindsay.
And he'll get around Randy.
No. Mark Whitley.
No. I'm saying he gets back. All right. So the two guys on this same strategy, Thaxton is leading Randy. And then Randy, 44.95. A little bit quicker pit stop as well. How aggressive do you want to be on the exit? It's very tight. Access road on the exit as well. Scarbo is in. Yep. And there is, like you said, Thaxton and Whitley going at it. Whitley does not have fresh tires to hold off, and he doesn't really need to because that's not his fight right now.
Thaxton might currently be my favorite to, take over the lead should the rest of these guys have to come in and pit.
Zach Scare got around Casey Brown. Scarbo is out. I think he just took right side, so he was only in there for 10 seconds. So trying something a little different. So Thaxton, 34.10, a second quicker. Yeah, he would be on pace right now. His fight is with Jonathan Schwartz, because Schwartz is not pitting again. He's going to hope to save enough and not pit again. And he unlaps himself here, so that's even better news for fans of the 6 machine. And everyone else trying to respond. James Goodwin, Michael Davis, Joseph McGill, Eric Shields, Casey Brown. So the top 17 have not pitted yet. And now Kyle Ritchie is in. That's 9th, so let's see what he's got for him. A little bit of right rear damage there, it looks like. It'll be 4-tire stop. This Landwehr puts Cade Ferguson a lap down. But it is Thaxton. He's got 10 seconds over Randy Arms. Randy has 4 lap fresher tires.
Schwartz is only a straightaway ahead of Thaxton.
Yeah, so Schwartz saving fuel. He's going to get past. So that's why I said, like, you were kind of hoping they didn't do this. You were hoping they would just go out to the end and pit with a splash and go. And that way you were on the same tires for the whole stint. But now you have a tire disadvantage for the remaining 30 or so laps. And he'll get caught pretty easily, honestly. He's gained 4 seconds in 2 laps because Schwartz is still having to save fuel. Let's go on board. Like, he's still saving fuel. I wonder if he knows. I mean, he's got to see guys pitting, so he's like, jeez. He is running 36-second flat. Thaxton 34.4, so a second and a half a lap he's given up. And he's got 15 lap older tires than Thaxton. Here comes Ryan Tiller through. So these are the guys, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Demyin is not saving. He just hasn't pitted yet. He is going to get a bonus point for leading the lap. Right now, there it is. There's his bonus point. But he did not double pit, and he has not been saving. He's got right front damage to boot. Jonathan Schwartz, Mike DeWalt, Ryan Tiller trying to save fuel. Josh Thaxton, the first car out on on the new tires. He was the first person to start the sequence of green flag pit stops. However, Landwehr, 10-lap newer tires, is 4.5 seconds back. So can Landwehr catch Thaxton? Can Thaxton catch Jonathan Shorts? That's kind of the question we're asking, and Whitley only a second back. Landwehr only took, actually, that was a net tie. Yeah, it was a net tie. On pit road, both 44.2s. Looks like Ben Thomas had a little trouble with the access road. On the exit, that should be a penalty for him, and he was having a good race inside the top 15. 23 laps to go. And at some point, if you're Schwartz, you're going to have to hold off Thaxton. And then Landwehr's another 2 seconds behind that. So Landwehr's actually back in the driver's seat. He's catching Thaxton quickly. So put Landwehr back in the driver's seat. Landon Quisenberry has come back out on the racetrack. He cannot pick up any more positions.
I wonder how any potential traffic might help Whitley get to the back of Landwehr.
Yeah, it's 1 second. You go on board, you see that's the car you need to beat. It does make you drive faster, so yeah. Ryan Tiller, I mean, he is absolutely parking it. So Thaxton through to third. He's only 3 seconds behind your race leader, Jonathan Shorts, trying to pull off the improbable. But Landwehr's only a second behind Thaxton, so Landwehr timed this perfectly. Tiller's not going to be an issue here. Mike DeWalt not going to be an issue. It does show you the strategies at play here. And even Thaxton, he's held up a little bit by DeWalt. 10-lap fresher tires. This will show you the difference. Whitley doesn't really gain anything. Maybe a couple hundredths of a second at best. Landwehr has passed Thaxton. He's got 1.5 seconds to Shorts, 20 laps to go. It's really no contest. Unless Whitley could find some speed here. 1.2 seconds. Landwehr easily on track to get by. Gains almost half a second on the entry to turn number 3. My goodness, that car is hooked up.
Landwehr just different today.
Yeah, and that's a teammate. So Shorts realizes that saving the fuel from the outset was not the correct strategy. Here comes Whitley. He will get back by through to second. And he is 3 seconds ahead of Jared Lindsay. There goes 77. He should get the move done into turn number 1, and then it'll be about 1.3 seconds the gap. And again, he's the only car. There's no cars in between him, so if you can somehow find some speed, it would be a race to the finish. But Landwehr has been in a different area code all afternoon. In sim time, nighttime for us, calling this intense race. Thaxton, so yeah, Shorts wasn't even going to be able to hold off Thaxton, so that strategy kind of backfired on him. Because he's still having to save fuel. And Jared Lindsay will get on by.
I think the big battle might potentially be Thaxton and Lindsay coming to the end of the race. Still 15 to go. Well, more than 15, but
yeah, I think Lindsay's got... I mean, let's take a look at the pit strategy here. Last time everybody pitted. Doesn't show it yet. It's so annoying. But I'll just do it manually. 125 for the top 2. 115 for Thaxton. 124 for Lindsay, so he'll easily catch Thaxton. 100 for Schwartz and Mike DeWalt. 119 for Randy Arms. 100 for Ryan Tiller. 124 for Mazzella, 125 for Price, 123 for Kyle Ritchie, 127 for Demien, 124 for Bowman. 122 for both Michael Davis and James Goodwin. Cade Ferguson has not pitted yet. Pitted on lap 98. He'll need one more stop. He's a little bit off sequence. Joseph McGill, Eric Shields, 122. Scarbo, 120. Ben Thomas, Zach Scare, and Brandon French, 127. Casey Brown had a pit road speeding penalty, I believe, and he pitted on lap 122. Now, this is some heavy lap traffic that Landwehr has caught. He lost about 3/10 on that lap. The gap is now back under a second. We'll drive it in, try and get the 2 for 1. Gap down to 8/10 of a second.
Cars 2 by 2 in front of him.
Gap down to 7/10 of a second. But the problem is Whitley's going to have to go through the exact same traffic.
I mean, he's going to try and make it 3 here.
He's going to have to if he wants any shot. He's Ben Thomas just going to chop his nose off. He's probably not thrilled with that. He's on the rumble strips. And all that time he did gain, he just lost it right back. So he's probably pretty hot under the collar about that, Ben Thomas. He is racing. This is a race for position for both of these guys, though. And then Landwehr being held up by Eric Shields, so he's going to drive it in deep. He does get past Shields, does Landwehr. And now he's only got Joseph McGill in 17th in front of him. Mark Whitley does come out, I guess. He gains a couple tenths from it, but he was 7/10 in closing, then went back to 1.1 seconds, and now he's kind of evened out at 0.9 seconds. So there you go. We'll dive it in on the 27. Now he's going to get past Joseph McGill. And then it'll be a 2-car race to the finish. No lap traffic towards the end of this thing. 11 laps to go. Gap is 9/10 of a second. McGill will yield way. Pretty respectful to let second and first fight it out, but that does open the door for Eric Shields to get on by. So he opened up the door a little bit too much. Randy Arms and Jonathan Shorts going at it.
Now, Lindsay was able to get by Faxon fairly easily.
So this will be the top 3, it looks like. A couple good battles to still be decided. Casey Brunson, Jonathan Mazzella, William K. Price going at it. Mike DeWalt trying to track down Samuel Demien. Joseph McGill, Ben Thomas, Tony Scarbo going at it. And the gap is slowly still closing. It is down to 7/10 of a second with 9 laps to go. So we will stay on this. Mark Whitley, a 10th quicker last lap. Has he figured out something here in these closing stages to make a run at that 66? There will be one car, I think that is James Goodwin, that they will catch. Gap is 6/10 of a second now. Whitley has found something. Maybe the sun's setting a little bit. And he is flying. It is 5/10 of a second. 34.9 for Landwehr, 34.7 for Whitley. Unless Landwehr's just trying to save a little bit for when he gets there, but which could be very possible, but gap is under half a second now. Coming to 7 laps to go. He will have time for a send if he gets any closer.
In this late in the race, you got to be willing to use your bumper.
He's not going to sit side by side with him for 5-10 laps like he did with Jared Lindsay. If he gets there and he thinks he's got a shot at it, I expect him to make a move for it. And he is pushing gap, now kind of stabilized at half a second. They both ran 34.9s. It's right around here when you start getting to that dirty air, it's going to really affect it. Still some good battles, lap traffic all over the road. William K. Price trying to make the move on Mazzella. Ben Thomas and Eric Shields. We're quickly taking our look around everywhere else. But here is the battle for the win. James Goodwin is really the last lap car they should face. I don't think they'll catch Michael Davis. 4.5 tenths of a second. James Goodwin says, leave me out of it. I'm sure Whitley would have loved for him to have been a part of that.
He is somewhat going to be a part of that. Whitley having to go up under him.
It'll be 3 tenths of a second, another tenth quicker there. He needs a tenth and a half to be right on that back bumper. He just needs a little bit more. He's in the draft. He's going to just keep getting ever so close. If he can just maintain with that 66 through the corners and get that draft down the front and back straightaway, every little bit helps. It's 3 tenths of a second. Now he's in the draft. It's not a drafting track, but every little bit helps. Four laps to go. Can he roll the center of the corner? It's all going to be about corner exit. He's going to have to get a good exit. Quisenberry actually is going to be a factor here. Maybe. 3 tenths of a second. Entering turn number 3. He'll stay way out of the way. 50-something laps down, so very respectful there. Oh, that 77 is pushing back in. Came out a little bit. 3 laps to go. He was half a tenth quicker that lap. He needs a little bit more than that to get to the back bumper. Almost in the wall. He's gaining incrementally down the back straightaway from 3 tenths to 2.5.
Yeah, it's been like half a tenth the past 3 laps.
You need a tenth in there somewhere to get to that back bumper. It's 2 car lengths with 2 laps to go. A tenth will win you the race.
I mean, it was a tenth that lap. He was a tenth faster.
The 66 slides up the racetrack. Here comes Mark Whitley. He is there incredibly. As we head towards the white flag, when does he make his move? Do you do it now? Just ship him and say, I'll see you later? Do you wait to the last lap? How do you do it? Looking at that back bumper is only going to encourage him. They're both loose. He is there. How do you do the move? White flag race is official. 150 laps.
Blocking.
It comes down to this. Through 1 and 2 for the final time. 66 going to slide up the 77 with the run. He's going to get to that inside. Into 3 and 4 for the final time. What does this 77 do? What is he willing to do to get the win? Loose underneath the 66. 66 up the hill. He's going to power it up. Going to be contact made into the left rear landwehr. But he's going to hold on. Landwehr gets it done at Gateway. What an incredible finish.
Landwehr tried really hard to pinch him off into 3 and 4. Able to survive contact.
And what a battle. Whitley, I thought, was left for dead after his final pit stops. Last 10 laps is shot out of a cannon. Lindsay rounds out your podium. And what a battle. Let's take another look. The 77 tries a crossover. Through 1 and 2. Gets to the inside. They're both loose off of 2. Headed into 3 and 4. That 77 just gets a little loose. You see the smoke. Gets a little loose underneath them. A little bit of contact on the exit. It must be said, all things considered, pretty tame by the 77. He easily could have got up behind him. and just shipped him off into the wall.
Oh, yeah, Jared Lindsay, P3.
7.8 seconds behind this battle. But yeah, a little contact on the entry there. It must be said, the 77, though. I know he had some issues with Lindsay earlier in the race. They were going really aggressive. But that was a clean finish. He could have just, I mean, me and you personally would have done so much more than that.
I would have wrecked you.
Have no morals here. I just would have got on that back bumper and just shoved you right up the racetrack. But
Yup.
77 did not do that. Tried to do it clean. What a race.
Who's looking to win?
Alrighty. Let's go ahead and get the Moflo boys hanging out, doing their burnouts. Let's go ahead and get here with your race winner, Nathaniel Landwehr. What were you seeing in the rearview mirror those last 10 laps? It was pretty hectic. Whitley got shot out of a cannon. Talk me through those last couple laps in the defense you had to put on tonight.
Yeah, so coming after that last pit stop, I thought I entered pretty hot into pit road and had it pretty well, and he gained about half a second back, and that was actually really impressive. I thought I sent it about as hard as I could have gone. I thought I kind of had it won like a lot earlier. Started pulling away, and he found something, and what I was doing stopped working at the same time, and just really scary and intimidating looking at the rear mirror. I have to go back and look at it. I didn't try to chop his nose like that if I did, but I mean, I'll take a win, and he didn't get wrecked, and that's about all I could ask for right there. And Jared finished in third as well. Just a good team race.
Yeah, hard fought battle for the win. Clean, very clean. Coming to the end of it, I mean, you could have easily come across his nose, blocked him. He could have sent you 3 rows deep, saying hey to the fans. But it was a clean finish between you two. And like I said, he had found something and was charging you down. It was like right around a second after those pit stops, and it was kind of maintaining there. And then you look at the last 10 laps, you're like, there's a 10th there, there's 2 tenths there, and then he's on your back bumper. Got through the lap.
I just didn't have the pace there that what I was doing in the corner stopped working, and I don't know, he figured it out.
But like you mentioned, it was a good team race. You guys pretty much dominated after the halfway point of the race. Short sled early after the halfway point. You were just shot out of a cannon past halfway. You had like 5 seconds on Whitley at one point. He was battling with Lindsay, Schwartz, and Randy, and you were just kind of doing your own thing. So the middle point of the race was all yours. And had you asked me then, I was like, oh, no, it's not going to be a photo finish coming off turn 4. But that's what it ended up as, and you come out ahead in that in a thrilling finish and pick up your first win of the season.
Yeah, glad that I'm not not the Matt Kraft end of the season. Kind of like last season, kind of upset I ended up winning Darlington because I didn't win any other races other than that and still won the championship. But we're hoping to get on pace to win championship, make it to the playoffs, and finish strong.
Yeah, and then holding off the guy that's won 3 races out of 5, it's like a good way to do it. Make a big statement here as we are at the third way. I guess we're a third of the way into the season already. So a big statement made, and congratulations again on a thrilling win.
Thank you.
And as always, we'll let you get any shout-outs in that you got.
Let's see. Shout-outs. Thanks to the guys for showing up every week, and Jared whenever he can. It looks like he'll be making a comeback here, but we'll see. Shout out to all the people watching, especially the wonderful girlfriend who hopefully is still watching. Let's see if she sent me a text. Nope. She's probably asleep. At this point.
She missed a good one, unfortunately. Then.
Yeah, unfortunately. But thanks to you guys a lot. You guys actually like broadcasting these races, making them entertaining to go watch back and watch in real time, and just thanks to all the people that set it up, all the great people that race here. It's a really good time every Tuesday night. Absolutely.
Well, congratulations again on the win, and we'll look forward to seeing you back here. I believe, next week. We're the week before Christmas. 12/19. Michigan. That'll be another good one. So we'll see you back here at Michigan.
Yep. Thank you, Allison. See you.
Yep. Here with your runner-up, Mark Whitley. That's probably the most well-earned, or you had to fight for it, runner-up I've ever seen. You were fighting all race long with the Moflo Racing guys, Nathaniel Landwehr, Jared Lindsay, Schwartz, Randy Arms. You were 5 seconds back at one point after getting around Lindsay. That was like a 20-lap battle side by side. It was sideways past them at one point, a little using the bumpers back and forth. You get the caution, it kind of resets everything, and then that last run, you come out about a second behind. There's a little bit of lap traffic. What did you find, though, after you cleared all that lap traffic? Those last 10 laps, you got shot out of a cannon. You were getting like a tenth and a half, 2/10 at one point, and you made it to the thrilling photo finish. What changed those last couple laps that allowed you to fight for the win?
I was just searching. I think that's part of the new update they had. I was just starting to search a little bit. I just kind of drove it into 3 a little bit differently and kind of let it slide the rear a little bit, trying to get it to turn and kind of drive it a little bit like New Hampshire, and it got a good run off. That's what kind of set up me being able to get to him on the last lap. And really, when he went, I mean, I kind of faked low, and he went to block, and I'm kind of surprised he did, because that put him in a really bad spot going into one. And I'm kind of surprised. I'm really impressed he made the corner, because being that low, we both kind of dove it in there pretty deep. I'm surprised he made it. And I tried to come off the corner. He held it low enough where I had to lift a little bit, and I couldn't get a good of a run. But my goal was to just kind of dive it into 3 and hope for the best. But I think he was trying to anticipate it, so he started turning in a little bit early, and it got my right front a little bit, and it kind of got sideways. So I was pretty much dirt tracking it going into 3, downshifting, trying to my best, and then had a little bit of contact on the exit, but I didn't want to wreck him or anything. So I think if we had maybe one more lap, we might have had something. We could have done something different. I'm not really too sure what more I could have done that lap. I just, too early in the season, I didn't really want to run him over. Hell of a battle. I finally found something to catch him, because I know it seems like I had the 3 worst restarts of my life there in the beginning of the race, and I finally got a decent one. I was able to, stick with him that last run, and didn't have to battle for anything, because that was getting a little frustrating. I knew I was faster. I was faster in the wrong spots, and I had to eventually just kind of get the elbows out a little bit to get by them guys. But clean racing all around, and one spot short of getting win number 4. But you know what? This was my least favorite racetrack coming in here. So I think I've maybe figured something out finally after running here 10, 15 times. I think I maybe finally figured this place out a little bit. So second place at my least favorite track, I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 wins, a second place, and then Texas will be the drop week. Pit road speeding penalty, it is what it is. But yeah, that was a great race, and like you said, I personally just would have sent about 8 rows deep and just got on that back bumper and Joey Logano at Darlington. Just leave no doubt. But I respect you for keeping it clean. We had a good finish. Don't make any enemies 5 races into the season. I get it. But it was fun. Like you said, you found something late, and the over refresh seems to be working. Step 1, baby steps. But it was a great race. The consistency is there yet again, and congratulations on a solid second place finish.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. We'll let you get any shout outs in if you got any.
Oh yeah, big shout out. Apparently Harpoon Design. I know he called the first half of the race for me, and he had to jump over doing something for another guy. Check him out, harpoondesign.com. He does awesome work. Gets back with you really quick. He's got like 2,000 paints on trading paint too. So if you want to check out some stuff he's already done, or hit him up for a brand new one, that's harpoondesign.com. And then thanks to my other teammate John for spotting the rest of the race, and Colin being on top of the pit box and giving me lap time information and giving me a little bit of information where I needed to go, where I was doing wrong. And I really appreciate him on top of the pit box. And I guess shout out to the league. This was 3 cautions. This is the most of the cautions we've had all season.
Right.
So it was really good racing. And as much as I felt like I was, getting fed up, getting stuck behind some of those guys, and there was some hell of a drivers. The harder it is to pass somebody, the better they usually are. So, it was a hell of a job. Like I was getting. I mean, you can ask John. I was getting so mad. I'm like, I know I'm faster, but I can't. Like I'm faster in the wrong spots.
Right.
And when you're tucked up behind somebody like that, I mean, it's so hard. It's so difficult to make sure you judge it and don't run them over. And you had somebody behind you, so hats off to the league. Everybody in it. A lot of green flag racing here tonight. Can't wait for next race. And final shout out, I guess, to you guys putting on a broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch the broadcast that y'all put on. Can't wait to go check it out.
Absolutely. Appreciate the kind words. We'll see you next week at Michigan.
Sounds good.
And then here with your third place finisher, Jared Lindsay. Good to see you back on track. Put podium in the season debut. We're fighting for the win at times tonight, just that last run. The 66 and the 77 kind of in a league of their own, but definitely the speed that we're used to seeing here. And you come away with a podium in your first race back. Talk me through it.
Well, first of all, I'm not very good at Gateway. Number two, I'm way rustier than I thought I was gonna be, with the hiatus. And three, those guys were just faster than me tonight. I mean, that's kind of the end result. I couldn't really put a whole run together without making numerous mistakes and run smooth. I was all over the place. Kind of felt like a bit of a wrecking ball at times. Quite frankly, I'm just glad I didn't absolutely annihilate anybody. And yeah, I'm happy with third. Cool to see my teammate won. I was harassing him. I'm like, y'all are letting this Mark Whitley guy who has never run up all over y'all. I was like, that's it. I got to come back, put some stuff in order. And I show up and Nate wins. Mazzella gets like his first good finish of the season. I was like, that's what I'm talking about, guys.
It was an absolutely solid night for the team. But yeah, if Rusty is coming back, starting third, finishing third, then be a threat the rest of the season. Hopefully we could see you coming back out. It was a pleasure watching you dominate last season. And hopefully get you in the title fight here, hopefully. But yeah, it's fun watching you race. And congratulations on a well-earned podium.
Yeah, I unfortunately won't be finishing the season. I just finished school on Sunday and just earned my first, I'm officially a licensed pilot.
Congratulations.
Yeah, but I start my next bit of training come second week of January, so I'm gonna be gone again until pretty much till summertime for about 2 more weeks, and then gone again. It's gonna be like that for the next couple years. So
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, but I'm gonna jump in with you guys when I can. I miss you guys. I still watch the broadcast though. I still watch you guys. You guys do a killer job. Give me a reason to want to tune in, and I love these guys in this league. They're all awesome, man.
Absolutely. Well, you got big things career-wise, so that's pretty awesome. Glad to hear it. But yeah, congratulations on a well-earned podium. We will appreciate you while we can. This is definitely a pleasure watching you out on track. So congratulations, and we'll let you get any shout-outs that you might have.
Yeah, just shout out to my teammates and shout out to the admins of the league. Even though against my wishes, I told them to give up my number, and they intentionally saved it for me in case I was going to come back and race. I'm kind of feel a little special that they did that for me. And then shout out you guys and everybody watching the broadcast. Shout out to Mark for the P2 and the fun run, and Nate to winning, and to you guys, like I said. And real quick, how's Dale doing?
He's doing great. He'll be 6 months old here in a couple days, so he's huge.
Cow.
He is huge. So
Holy man. You're not questioning if he's your kid, are you?
He's mine, all right. We're identical in certain things, but yeah, Nick Saban's already on line one. He's like, "Hey, you want to come play right tackle for me?" He's huge. I mean, he's
awesome.
he is. It's incredible. I am so happy, so blessed.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
it is very cool.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you guys, and I'll catch you guys hopefully maybe next week, if not the week after for sure.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate it. Merry Christmas to you as well, and we'll see you when we see you.
All right, thanks guys.
Yep.
Take it easy.
You too.
Right tackle for Alabama.
Oh yeah.
No.
Let's go talk to the Wilder Graphics Xfinity team / Dodge Better Esports. Here with Cade Ferguson landing Quisenberry after 150 laps at Gateway. A little less for you, Landon, getting involved in that incident, obviously. What was your main takeaway from tonight?
I don't know. I don't really have one, I guess, other than be smarter. I know better than to be racing that hard for like 10th. I had top 10 speed. I just threw it away because of that. Just mirror driving, and what was it? Kyle messaged me, said he tried to get unhooked, but once he got into the right rear a little bit. I hit the brakes trying to get us unstuck, and I was just destined to hit the wall. So. Yeah, I don't know. I said don't dig. The best way to dig yourself out of a hole is to stop digging, and I showed up with an excavator today. So, yeah, it was a fun race. I can't really complain. I went back out with a torn up race car and finished it, and just had fun. So that's really all I can think for. I just feel bad because my girlfriend was over today, let me nerd out for a couple hours, and then I jumped it.
And you wrecked it.
Yeah.
Man, he's like, we're going to dinner every Tuesday night. I'm not letting you back in the car. You wreck it anyways. What's the point? But yeah, you seem to have gotten quicker every week. Daytona was Daytona, and then slowly starting to get up to speed. But I think tonight, before the incident, obviously was the quickest you've shown race pace wise. So getting better every week though, for sure. Definitely can tell the improvement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad because I was always like running for top fives in this league a year ago before I stopped on like racing iRacing for a year, because like I was getting used to college and stuff. So I'm glad I'm getting better, and I'm happy here next week is Michigan because it's one of my best tracks, and I've run really good at Michigan, and then Auto Club's my only Xfinity win in this league. So hoping I could turn it around at Michigan next week. We'll see how it is. Hopefully I can contend for a win, but if not, I just want to slowly get there and get top tens and maybe steal a win at the end of the season would be my goal.
Absolutely. And then, Kate, it says you put it on. I don't know if he's still here. Lap 98. Were you able to save fuel all the way to the end? Is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was not a good strategy. Terrible idea. On paper, it's like, this is going to work. And then I realized quickly that tires are a lot better here than fuel. So.
Right. Yeah, you and Schwartz and a couple other guys were doing it. And once everyone was like, oh, we're not going to pit at the very end for a splash and go, we're just going to pit now and take tires, it was kind of like, well, that was kind of it.
Yeah, about I think 30 laps in the run, I'm like, well, I definitely should have pit for tires, but we're committed now.
Yeah,
so.
There's no point to pit now. You'd be even further behind, so.
Yeah. I mean, I think I finished where I started, so I guess it's not a loss.
You gained one position, actually, 23rd, 22nd.
There we go. There we go.
But yeah, that shows you kind of just like how intricate the strategy is here. Like we had some guys like, well, I'm gonna come down early and see what happens, and then we got guys trying to save fuel. It's really all over the place. It's kind of fun to watch. Obviously, you could very easily be on the other end of it and then come out on top saving fuel. So just curious to see how that all shakes out.
Oh yeah, my strategy probably changed 8 times that race.
Absolutely.
From the beginning, it's like, right, we pit at stage caution, we'll save a couple laps. Pit at lap 50, that's it. We're going 50 laps. We can do it. And then, the cautions decided that was not going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, always a pleasure, fellas. Look to see you back here next week at Michigan.
Thank you. I will be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Here with James Goodwin, Joseph McGill. 150 laps at Gateway. Hard to drive, hard to pass. What was the main takeaway after 150 laps here tonight?
Definitely hard to pass. The tires wore out quick, and I had some early on damage in those first 25, 30 laps, got pinched off a little bit in the wall, and didn't want to get it fixed because I didn't think I was going to be able to make my way back up through the pack. So I just dealt with it the whole time and made the best I could out of it.
Yeah, I saw the right side damage a little bit, but you're battling pretty hard for top 10, top 15 most of the night, and then obviously the strategy was kind of in flux there. What was the main thinking there with those cautions and how they come out? What was the kind of the thought process with fuel and tires?
Honestly, the cautions fell pretty well for us. Just getting fresh tires on it. Yeah, not having to, because we were both struggling with tire management there, trying not to lock them up and everything else. So the cautions fell when we needed them to, and really didn't have to change too much of our strategy for that.
That's good. I think tires are a little bit more important than fuel. I know a couple guys tried to say, but once everyone kind of came down for those fresh tires, it was like, oh, well, tires were more important, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then McGill, top 20 finish here tonight. You had some decent speed at times. I saw you up inside the top 15. Kind of looked like you got quicker as the race went on.
Yeah, I set my fastest lap time, actually, of the whole night, even between practice and qualifying there in the last few laps. Really, like James said, the cautions came at a good time. So I was able to keep my spot, not fluctuate too much besides there in the middle.
Definitely. But yeah, really hard fight. You guys were battling for every position out there. And then obviously leaders catching you guys at the end there a little bit and trying to battle for the lucky dog in case there's a caution. So a lot going on again towards the tail end of the lead lap cars again.
Yeah, we always seem to find ourselves in that position at the end of the race.
James is the lucky dog, 2 weeks in a row?
2 weeks in a row on the first lap down car.
Yeah, there you go. But you guys got a front row seat to the leaders going at it with those last couple laps.
That was awesome. I was like, I got to stay right out of their way. I'm not going to interfere with them.
Yeah.
I always get nervous avoiding them, as you can tell. I think I lost the spot even.
Yeah, I noticed it. I was like, he's going to let the leaders go by. Oh, he let Eric Shields go through. Like,
yep.
He just it is the season of generosity, I guess. But
It is. Merry Christmas, Eric.
Definitely. But appreciate the time, fellas, and look to see you back here next week in Michigan.
Can't wait.
Yep. Thanks.
Yep. Shorts, your strategies are always fun to watch. I'll give you that. I'll lead with that. You were 24th to 3rd in like 6 laps for the stage break. I respect it. You were going.
Hey,
for
I'm gonna try everything I can.
it. You were going for it. You needed one more lap, and you were gaining like 8/10 a lap on the leaders. It was nuts.
Yeah, I'm definitely not for riding around all night, so
There
I'd
you
like to go after it when I can.
Yeah, but good finish for the rest of the Speed Zone guys as well. Randy, Shorts, you guys are all up there watching Lindsay and Whitley beat each other to death. Kind of in that top 6 early on.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I unfortunately got collected in there and all that madness at one point.
Yeah, when you, Damien, Whitley, or no, there's 4 of you, I think, and you like 2 of you bounced off the wall, then Lindsay shot up the track, and
then I was sideways. I'm not even sure what happened.
Yeah. But brought out the caution though, so you got lucky there. Had that not, you would have just been off sequence. But a little half spin was like, I got saved a little bit.
Yeah, I was surprised that the caution came out, but I was glad that it did.
Definitely.
I was able to come back and salvage the top 5, which was my first top 5 of the year, so we'll take it.
There you go. 2 spots from where you started. Shorts down 9, but not for lack of trying. You were trying to save fuel there on that last run, and then a couple guys were doing the same thing. But it's like once they took tires and didn't go for the splash and go and took tires early, well, it's like, tires are a little bit more important here at the later stage, it looked like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here for wins, so whenever I can try something different to maybe get an advantage or not, I'm gonna do it. So we'll see how it goes the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely. It was kind of like if they all wait, if they just take a splash and go, you would work. But it's like, well, we want tires, so it was really like kind of depending on like when they decided to make that last pit stop. So definitely not for lack of trying. You were able to save, I believe, right? You didn't have to pit.
Yeah, I made it.
Yep.
So
it did. Got a bang on there, but take 11th. You got 3rd place stage points, so not a bad points line, all things considered.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Currently top 7th in points, so there you go. And then Casey Brown loved the paint scheme. Did not get the finish it deserved.
No, it definitely did not. We had a probably top 15, maybe top 12 car. That final run just was going to turn 1. Screen froze on me, and she went right into the wall.
Oh, man.
And meatballed it up, so I had to pit there and get the damage fixed, and just had to salvage what was left of the car. And yeah, kind of disappointed on it, but we'll chug on.
Definitely. But always a pleasure, fellas, and look forward to seeing you back here next week at Michigan.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yeah, have a good one.
Yep, thanks.
How we doing, fellas?
What's up?
Last but certainly not least, Brandon French, William Bowman, 150 laps at Gateway. What's the main takeaway from tonight?
I still hate that track.
It is a technical track. It is very, very hard to pass.
Yeah. It is.
But Bowman, you were up in the top 10 at points tonight. You were really close to that first top 10 of the season. You were up 5 spots from where you started and lead lap finish and all the other goodies. You were going at it tonight.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed that. So it was fun.
Sure. What was
not my teammates liking it, but I did.
That's all that matters. You got your personal enjoyment out of it, and there you go.
That's right.
What was the thought, tires versus fuel? The cautions kind of fell right at that kind of like, we have to make a decision here, whether to save or come in for tires.
Yeah, well, I was so much slower than how the leaders were anyway, so like when I was going all out, I was pretty much conserving tires. So.
Fair enough.
So that's why it kind of played out, I think, for me to, I was doing all right. I wasn't burning them up so fast.
Yeah. It is a very technical track, and it's easy to get out of that one groove and slide way up the racetrack. Yeah. But we go to Michigan next week. A lot more fun to drive. I think the oval refresh has done good things for the service, so we should see some really good racing rest of the way.
Yep. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Absolutely. Well, always a pleasure, fellas. We'll see you next week in Michigan.
Yep,
thanks, Max.
Yeah, have a good one. Alrighty, that is everyone that stuck around and listened to me blabber on. Art, your final thoughts on tonight's race?
I think kind of showcased the new update for iRacing, and I think it's gonna make me excited going forward, especially for these races and any others that we might pick up to see what kind of racing we're able to see.
Yeah, like we take a look at the schedule next week. Michigan, that always produces good racing, anyways. We got Michigan off for Christmas, then Bristol going to our first short track, designated short track, to ring in the new year. Then Indy Oval, I'll be very curious to see how that works. And then 116, 123, Homestead, then Chicagoland. I got that circled. That's going to be some really good stuff. Rockingham will be unique, and yeah, that'll be really good. And then Las Vegas to end the season, at the end of February. That'll be really good racing. So it's a big step in the right direction. LSRL always delivers anyways. Really clean racing. 3 cautions tonight. So that's an off night for them. So they'll send some training videos out on what not to do. But a thrilling finish. Nathaniel Landwehr, Mark Whitley, the class of the field. Landwehr picking up his first win of the season for MoFlo Racing and the 66 team. Jared Lindsay rounds out your podium. Randy rounding out the top 5. Samuel Demien picking up his first, or rounding out the top 10. And Jonathan Mazzella picking up his first top 10 of the season. He has had some really good qualifying speed, has had no luck in the races. So good to see that 41 finally get a finish that he deserved. And then going back down to Ryan Tiller, last car on the lead lap. And then James Goodwin, first car 1 lap down, heading back down to Larry McDonald, Tyler French, Kevin Bowley having to bow out due to issues. Quisenberry wrecked, and then Casey Brown, we heard his issue. And then Lucas Reed, Gary Smith, Billy Davison did not participate tonight. So 28 car field. It was a great race. Looking forward to Michigan, and congratulations again to Landwehr on a thrilling victory. And we'll see everyone next week, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Michigan, the Mike Shepard Memorial 200. Looking forward to it. You'll have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday.